Monday morning, start of the wedding week, and Neil Shenton's just turned up, putting a marquee up. Right, see how that looks by the end of the day. Flames up, 1 hour later. That didn't take long, did it? Right, shooting next. Go and get the bat. Yeah, there you go. Makes it look easy, doesn't it? Getting real now, Jake. Nearly there now, mate. All coming together. The sun's out. Let's hope the sun stays out for the next day for the wedding, and the marquee is all but finished. It's all in place. Everybody's here helping. Whoa! Not be long now. This is it. This is the day. We're all ready, eh, Darcy? You ready for the wedding? Here we go. All ready. So wait for everyone to arrive. Church at 2 o'clock, and then party tonight. If you call it a party again, you might not be invited.
Everybody give them a massive tickle, they just got married! It's getting us instead of them.
Should have been all over that side.
Yeah.
Brilliant. There we go.
Right then, we're also going to do a little bit of a mother-son dance as well. And this is the song we've requested. You ready? Anyway, Jake and his mum hate that song, so but Nigel loves it. But anyway, we won't play that one. Right, let's invite. It was your mum's fault. She asked me to do that. Right, let's invite the bride and groom onto the dance floor. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, please, for your bride and groom. And of course, Laura, and of course, Jake. And I know there's quite a few people in the room that are waiting with bated breath on the first dance because we had a bit of a sweepstake.
Money on this.
Here we go.
Yes.
Wow, what a day. That's it. It's about all over. It's midnight, and we've had a great wedding, and thank you all for coming. And well, that's about it, really. That's all I can say. Good night, all. Failed the scales. How many times do you hear that? Regular, someone fails the scales. And there's a couple of reasons that you can fail the scales. The left weight has to be under 53. The rear weight has to be over 55 and under 60. So between 55 and 60, the rear weight. The cross weight is personal. Overall weight is between 1350 and 1400. So you have to be within them weights. So if you're not, you fail the scales. The ride height has to be 2 inches as well. The car has to be 2 inches off the floor all the way around. So the scrutineers have got a little bar, a little 2-inch bar, slide under the car and make sure the car is 2 inches off the ground. So they're the reasons you can fail the scales. I remember the first time I failed the scales. I went to bought this car off Andy Smith in 2012 was my first season with this car. 2010 I started, did 2011 with one car, and 2012 I bought this car. And first time I went to Buxton as a white top, and I went to the scrutineer and I said, can you just check my car's legal? Just put it on the scales, make sure it's legal. Yeah, put it on the scales, all legal, all good, happy days, thank you very much, thanks for that, appreciate that. I won Heat 1, back to the scales, got my trophy, won Heat 1, yeah, well done, all cars all good, off you go. Heat and final, I don't remember, but I went out and won the Grand National as well, and back to the scales as well. And this is for the third time the car's been to the scales for the third time that day. And he got this bar out, which I didn't know, never seen this bar before. Slid it under the car, and it failed. It was slightly too low on this front left corner. I got a bent stub axle and got disqualified. And I had to go and give the trophy to Dave Briley. Dave was second behind me that day, and. I was gutted. I can't believe it. I can't believe I failed the scales. And the car had been to the scales for a test and for a race win. And then I got disqualified on the last race. Yeah, and the other one I failed, same car, on tarmac. The other one I failed at Hendersford after I won the final at Hendersford. I was too light on the rear end because I'd used all the fuel, 20-lap race. The car was weighed over 55%, but it got fuel in it. You know, we never thought to drain the fuel out of it. And it was just slightly under 55% by the time I'd used the fuel and done some donuts and some wheel spins and used a bit of rubber off the back end and got disqualified again. So that was twice I've been disqualified, twice I've failed the scales. Right, so these are our scales. These are less than a year old. We've only bought these a year ago. Our old set, we weren't perfectly happy with them. Put some weights on Jake's car because I don't want to, it's not fair for me to show you Jake's weights, but I want to show you the scales without showing you Jake's weights. So this is how the scales work. You've got a left weight there, 50, it's got to be under 53. The rear weight has got to be over 55. The cross weight says 51.7 there, but obviously that's nowhere near what our cross weight is. I've just put a load of weights on the car. The total is 14.38 with these weights on it, of course, and that's each individual wheel there. So that's how we weigh the car every week, and obviously everyone does that. Everyone's got their own scales, and then we weigh the car at the meeting as well sometimes, just to make sure the car is legal on the scrutineer scales, because obviously they're the scales that count. So that's how we weigh the car, just on a pad on each corner. We use the same pad in each corner each week, and we always weigh the car here, because the concrete is dead flat, and it's always weighed in the same place. We know where it is. Actually, that concrete, all that concrete that way is all sloping that way, and all that concrete outside is all sloping, because it used to be outdoors, this concrete did, but that concrete, all the concrete that way from that way, is all dead flat. So we could weigh the car in the middle of the barn, but we don't. We always weigh it in the same place, so it's consistent. That's the idea of it, being consistent. And of course we can get the scales calibrated if we're not happy, but we do check it, we do weigh it on our scales, and then we'll check it on the scrutineer scales as well, just to make sure, just to be sure. But that's it, that's how we weigh the car. Jake failed the scales as well last year because he won a race on, I think, Saturday night, it might be Skegness, I can't remember exactly, and then went to the scales and it was all good. And then the following day, I'm sure it must have been Skegness double weekend, the following day we changed all wheels and tyres, which we regularly change in tyres, and that front left wheel was heavier than the one we took off, and when he went to scales it failed, just because one wheel was heavier. The centres are actually different on these wheels, some of the wheels. I suppose it'd be ideal if they should all be exactly the same. If they're all exactly the same, they'd all weigh exactly the same, wouldn't they? But we accumulate these wheels over the years, and some of them are just slightly different centres. And yeah, it cost Jake that day. That's how we fail the scales. Right, last one. The left side of this car has got to be, as I said, got to be under 53%. Well, because we're going around the track turning left, the other car in front of you is inside of you, and often this side of the car gets more dirt on it, more shale, more mud, you know, in there. So when you go on the scales, this car can be heavier on this side than what it was before the race because of the mud on it. So you're allowed to scrape off the mud off this side. You know, bang the mud out your tyres and scrape off the mud off this side. So Jake went on the scales at Bradford this year, won a race, and straight to the scales, and straight away it's too heavy on the left. Panic mode sets in. Oh no, and it wasn't really dirty, to be honest. The car wasn't dirty. It doesn't get very dirty at Bradford. Same at King's Lynn, doesn't really get very dirty. It used to. Coventry at Bellevue, some old Northampton, used to get really dirty. But yeah, we managed to bang the tyres, scrap the mud off this side, and it passed. Of course, you can turn it around as well, because if there's a slight discrepancy, you're allowed to turn the car around and try it the other way around. But there we go. The one thing that we can change and set ourselves is the cross weight. The cross weight is this back left wheel to that front right wheel. That's the cross. Obviously, the cross is actually both ways. It's from corner to corner, but that's the one we use, is the back left to the front right. So the more you increase the cross weight, the more weight you put on that wheel, and that's obviously, as you turn it left, it puts more weight onto this wheel, which helps. But of course, there's less weight on that wheel and less weight on that wheel. So the more you lower the cross weight, and you would lower this on this and race that, which is a wider tyre, and race that. So there's difference between tarmac and shale as well. We use different cross weights on each surface, and the cross weights like between the minimum you can go is 45 and maximum 55. They're all thereabouts. So we're somewhere in that region. Yeah, the best starting point is 50% cross weight, and alter your carb from there. A little bit up, a little bit down, with experience. There we go. So I've just realised, just watched that video back before I posted, I just realised I've won one final and got disqualified on scales, and won one Grand National and got disqualified also on the scales. I actually won 14 races in my 14 years, and that's my favourite one. It's my favourite picture. That's from winning at Coventry in front of Mick Sorder. That was my best memory, to win that race at Coventry. To win a race is fantastic, but to win a Coventry is even better. There you go, job done.